Good evening, bonsoir. Welcome to the regular public meeting, October 7th. Please rise for the national anthem. We have our territorial acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the city of Bathurst as an ancestral homeland of the Mi'kmaq. Today, these lands are home to a diverse population of indigenous and other peoples. We also acknowledge with respect and diverse histories and cultures of the Mi'kmaq in the region. Reconnaissance territoriale. Nous reconnaissons avec respect l'emplacement de la ville de Bathurst en tant que terre ancestrale du peuple Mi'kmaq. Aujourd'hui, ces terres sont hôtes d'une population diverse comprenant personnes natives du territoire et d'autres parties. Nous reconnaissons aussi avec respect l'histoire et les diverses cultures du peuple Mi'kmaq de la région. Adoption of agenda.
That the agenda be approved as presented.
Moved by Councillor Branch, second by Councillor Knowles. All those in favor? Aye. All those against? Motion carried. Declaration of conflict of interest?
No conflicts of interest were declared.
Okay. Adoption of minutes.
For the regular public meeting held on September 16th, 2024, that the minutes of the regular public meeting dated September 16th, 2024 be approved as circulated.
We have a motion to that effect. Councillor Hondas, second by Councillor Scarry. Are there any questions on the motion? No question on motion. Everybody in favor signify. Aye. Everybody against? Motion carried. Consent of agenda.
There were no items under consent agenda.
Okay, we got public and administrative presentations.
First presentation, 6.1, the 2025 Bathurst Music Festival by Eddie Edwards. You'll have to...
Good evening, everyone. As Amy said, my name's Eddie Edwards. I'm representing the 2025 Chaleur Music Festival. I know I've been here before, but the committee put it to a vote, and I'm the sacrificial lamb. So. Just to briefly go over the previous year's festival, we had a vastly increased number of participants. We used more off-site adjudication. We sent the adjudicators out to schools and to various places to do their judging. We had a lot more involvement from the Francophone sector, but that's still room for growth there, but it was very encouraging. We had a much better organisation. We were 2 years into the project, so we knew what we were doing a little bit better, and So we were a bit more organised. The standards were significantly higher as well from the participants. We awarded more bursaries and we awarded more trophies. We did award one in the name of the City of Bathurst to recognise the grant that you gave us last year, so we really appreciated that. And we had bigger audiences and more for the performers, which was great because in the first year, often these little waifs were standing on their own in front of just adjudicators without any support, but last year we had a lot more support. I just want to show you some of the participants, just to give you some idea of the length of it. If you look at that picture there, that little girl is, I think, 5 years old, but she sang in front of an audience. There we have one of the schools where the adjudicators went out and let them perform in front of them. Here we had various young pianists who, they just blew me away. Their performances were superb. And there we have the Bathurst musical cast who sang for us. Just to keep on with just catching you up, again, we encourage the youth and we encourage the young people to come along and really demonstrate their talents and expand their experience. But then there's room for the old guys as well. So we try to cater for everyone. Going on to the next years, after I've just finished with these pictures, you can see there we went into one of the schools. You can see the participation with the parents, grandparents are there to watch the kids perform, but also to listen to the adjudicators giving them their opinions. So for 2025, we've got more categories and more classes within each category. We've had an earlier rollout of the syllabus and the entry forms that they've gone out already, and people are preparing ready for next year. We definitely will involve more francophone schools and teachers, individual teachers. We had quite a response to your Bathurst, what was it? The competition at the waterfront where they had the young people singing there. A lot of the francophone teachers were there, and we were able to get in amongst them and just push the program. Now we do have some challenges from our own success. Basically, the first year the adjudicators were able to spend time with the performers and go through their performance and actually give them ideas and nuances on the way they would perform and how to develop their talents. Last year, because we had more categories and more classes, we didn't have the time for the adjudicators to do as much as they should do. On top of that, we had a situation where the province set the adjudicators' fees, and we have to abide by that. We also have to pay for their travel expenses, and we also have to pay for their accommodation. Now, as you're probably aware, a lot of the accommodation in town, most of the hotels are now corporate entities, and when we've gone to them to help, unlike in the past, we were unable to get free accommodation, so we ended up spending quite a bit of money on accommodation last year. So that's a challenge for us coming up. We'll need more venues. In previous years, we've had a week of the festival, but it's not been every day that the festival has been carrying on. There have been kind of days where we've not had to have performers. With more classes and more categories, we're going to have to fill that week up completely, which will mean adjudication on each and every day, which raises the cost of the adjudication greatly, and the cost of the accommodation, and the cost of the disbursements. We do need more venues. We're already working on that. But, you know, Bathurst is really rapidly gaining a reputation for musical excellence. I attended the Band Fest, Choral Fest, Swing Dance Fest, whatever you want to call it, last week. And it was amazing. There were people from all over the province attended, and they're going to come back and keep coming back. So it boosts the city's image that we have that reputation. And I just think it's imperative that we keep that momentum up, and that we keep growing the festival, and that we keep letting the good news get out there. So we're looking for a grant, and I know you've been generous in the past, but I would like it to be more generous. We're looking for a grant of 5,000 if you've got it. I know that sounds a lot, but with the exponential increase of accommodation and the adjudicators' fees, it's something that we could do with help with. So, any questions?
Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Edwards. So you're looking for $5,000. What's your budget for this?
Our last year's budget was 7,000. We took in just over 8, so we have some leeway. This year's budget is over 12.
It's over 12.
And that increase is pretty much all taken up with the adjudicators' fees, the disbursements, and the accommodation fees. So, I mean, we're not just leaning on the city council to help us here. Obviously, we're going out to various individuals and corporate entities, but you know, if anything you can do to help us would be gratefully received.
Okay, we have a few questions there by a few members. Councillor Leblanc.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Thank you very much, Eddie. This was a nice presentation. I love hearing this. I really do. You're absolutely right. The talent and that comes out of Bathurst and the Shallore region, period, is amazing. And we are getting. It's true that we are getting known. The whole province starting to know how much talent is in this region. And like you said, I know of people coming up here for not just festivals, for listening to local bands of all sorts and all types of music. And it's really wonderful to see that moving forward. But to get to the point, I'm happy to hear that you want it every day and you want more performances and performers. That's fantastic, because I don't think there's any lack of talent. That shouldn't be an issue at all. Hopefully you will be able to get the venues to fill.
I think we can do that.
How many performers were there in the last edition?
There were over 150.
Over 150.
Yeah.
And
to be perfectly frank, I could have filled the presentation up with just images, because those are just a select few. But we have a number of orchestras. We have a number of choral. You know, it's a very eclectic mix. It's not kind of it's not either classical or kind of modern. It's an eclectic mix. If you can perform, there's a place for you in the music festival.
Well, and that's really what I love about it. First of all, it's all ages, from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And it's all types of music. There's no limitations, like you said. It's not just classical or chamber or whatever. So those are. It's basically just what I wanted to bring up. My question that I had, and Deputy Mayor already asked the other question I had. So on the budget side, so I'll let the others
Thank you.
request or talk.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Councillor Knowles.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillor LeBlanc didn't ask all my questions, but almost. That's okay.
Great minds.
What are the actual dates for this year's festival?
Provisionally, they're March 30th to April 6th.
March
30th
30th to
till
April
April
6th.
6th. We always end with a finale, a concert finale, where people come and they watch the performances.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Do the participants have to pay an entry fee?
Yes, they do. And this is part of the reason we want to keep the entrance fee as low as possible. It's the same with our finale concert. We ask for donations. So if a family can't afford to pay to watch their kids, they come in for free. Then we have other people that will pay 20, 30, 40 bucks as a donation. So
there's no set registration fee then. It's what you can afford.
there is a set registration fee, but it doesn't reflect what the province would have us. It's nowhere near the provincial level.
Right.
The province set fees. We don't get anywhere close to that. We are well under that.
No, I realize that. I was just questioning whether or not the participants had to pay an entry fee.
We want to make sure there's no barrier to entry.
Pardon me?
We want to make sure that there's no barrier to entry, that if people want to enter, they can enter, and if they can't find the fee, we'll find it for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Edwards. Grant Committee will get together and then get back to you.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, 6.2. Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation budget.
Just going to sit up here. All right. So Deputy Mayor Michael Willett, dear councillors, city employees, and I guess les auditeurs à la maison on Facebook Live.
My name is Catherine Lantaigne, and I'm also here with my president, Sylvain Lagacé, to talk to you about our budget tonight, because it is part of our bylaws to get our budget approved by City Council in Bathurst. I forgot to introduce myself, so I am Catherine. I am the General Manager of DBRC, also known as Downtown Bathurst Revitalization Corporation, Inc. So since we have, I always like to do a reminder, I know you guys are aware of the organization, but since we have people on Facebook Live, I always like to do a quick overview of who we are. So we are a nonprofit organization, and we serve members in the BIA, which stands for the Business Improvement Area. It's defined by a area in the municipality, which is downtown, and there are currently 28 downtown BIAs across the province of New Brunswick. They were created in 1981 to allow the local business community to collectively contribute to revitalizing, I have a hard time with that word, marketing and promoting their business area. So for the general public, we are not a department of the City of Bathurst, although we work very, very closely with the City of Bathurst. I always like to thank, of course, Public Works. We have Parks and Recreation, the waterfront. So a lot of time I knock on their door and I ask for their help, whether it's to help with blocking the roads or bringing garbages outside, moving the piano, for example. So if you travel downtown lately on corner of King and Main, the piano has disappeared, so I can't roll it by myself, so I need the city's help for that because I am one part-time employee. So I do answer to our board of directors. So like I mentioned, I have Sylvain here, and they are voted at our AGM. So we have, and they represent our downtown merchants. The board of directors is composed of 11 active and engaged members. We do have some non-voting members, and we have voting members. So we have Sylvain Lagacé, president. We have Denis Roy. I'm not even moving my presentation here. So here's the agenda of the presentation. We have who we are, which I just explained, our activities that we had in 2024, various projects that we did throughout the year, our upcoming budget, and then upcoming activities, and then the special project that I'm sure you guys are very excited to hear about that's located at 387 Main Street. So like I mentioned, here are the boards. So we have Sylvain Lagacé, the president, Denis Roy, VP, Erica Lynn Scott, and they're all merchants that are located downtown. Erica Lynn Scott, our treasurer and secretary, Zoe Arsenault, Antoine Attard, Melissa Ellis, Paul Vanderplum, Annick McIntosh, and we have Stephen Legacy, which is our liaison with the city, and we have Pauline Armstrong. She's not a voting member, but she is there as more of an observer because we do collaborate a lot with the waterfront. So as for the activities, je vais changer en français un peu. Pour les activités qu'on a eues dans la dernière année, on en a eu plusieurs, comme vous pouvez voir dans les photos. En tout et partout, on a eu des bonbons sur la rue Main, Trick or Treat on Main Street. On a eu la soirée magasinage de Noël au centre-ville. Comme vous pouvez voir dans la photo, je vois un petit peu comment de gauche à droite. Les journées dollars au centre-ville, donc nous faisons la gestion de tout ce qui est les dollars du centre-ville. Donc, c'est utilisé comme des certificats cadeaux que les marchands prennent et nous, on les rembourse. Donc, on avait eu deux journées, en fait, de Downtown Dollars où est-ce qu'on les vendait à 20% de rabais. On a organisé aussi la parade de Noël, la tournée des bars musicales, puis aussi l'exposition de voitures et la vente trottoir des marchands pendant les journées hospitalité. Ensuite, la soirée magasinage, on a essayé quelque chose de nouveau. On a réussi à avoir des fonds pour faire cette activité-là. Donc, on a fait la journée magasinage d'été, donc plutôt la soirée. On avait la musique en direct, live, sur le coin de la rue King et la rue Main. Ensuite, on a aussi eu, on a fait un très beau partenariat avec le Waterfront et la ville de Bathurst, où est-ce qu'on a organisé ensemble le Festival des récoltes. Donc, nous, on s'est occupé de la partie exposition de voitures anciennes et on a aussi fait la collaboration avec l'Association des corvettes de l'Atlantique. Donc, ça a attiré 102 corvettes au total, donc qui étaient dans le stationnement de 13 Barrels. Et on avait 104 voitures anciennes qui étaient stationnées sur la rue King et sur la rue Main. Donc, je peux vous dire que ça a un très gros impact sur l'économie locale. It has a huge impact on the economy. We see it. The merchants are happy, so people are coming, they're shopping, they're eating, so it's really good. They're going at breweries, so it's really good for the economy, and it's bringing people downtown. So that's what we want. We also worked on various projects. As you can see, maybe people know or don't know, so I put it there. We are the ones involved with, or that are paying for the flowers, the hanging baskets. So you have a picture here that shows you how it looks like. We have also worked on our strategic plan that will be approved during our AGM, which is coming up November 5th. We've also redid our bylaws that will be approved as well at our next AGM. We had our summer shopping night. We do also organize merchant meetings, so it's good so we're kind of a small chamber of commerce. So we represent people from downtown. So we're not the Chamber of Commerce, but it's kind of what it is. We represent the merchants downtown. So we had a meeting. So we talked on various topics. We also developed a welcome package. So whoever it's still not completely finished, but basically for the new businesses that will be opening downtown, we have some kind of a postcard so I'm going to go and greet them or somebody from the board. So it's a postcard and says welcome to downtown, and we have a QR code that brings them to a welcome package. So that way, what are the downtown dollars? What do you use them for? Because it's not easy when you come downtown, you open. There's so many things to think about when you open a business, but this is going to be a one-stop shop for the business owners. So who is the board? What are the downtown dollars? What's the parameter of downtown? What do we do? So our bylaws, our strategic plan, that's why I'm saying it's not completely finished, but if you scan it, you can still have access and see it, so I can maybe circulate it. Also, we've worked on window decals, so soon you will start seeing in all of the downtown businesses, so restaurants, retail store, breweries, it's a sticker, and it's a QR, so also it has a QR code, and it says, so this is a sticker, please don't peel it, I don't have that much, I want to keep it, we run on a tight budget, you'll see soon enough. So it says on it, downtown dollars are accepted here, les dollars du centre-ville sont acceptés ici, so people are able to see that your dollars are, I'm going to pass it around, can be taken here at the store. And also on the QR code, this is more specifically for tourists. They can scan it, and then you have an interactive map. And you can, so it shows all of the, and you have, how do you call that? When you can pick and choose. If you want just to see the restaurants, it will be all the green buttons. If you want, it's
screening or filter.
Filter. Yeah. That's exactly the word I was looking for. So filter. So you can choose specifically just restaurants. You can choose specifically just retail, service. So you can really pick and choose what you're looking for. Also, we worked on the bike rack and the heart bathers that I think deserve their own slides. So you may have seen the bike rack. Donc vous avez sûrement vu le nouveau support à vélo au centre-ville. C'est juste en face du Best Western. These were funds that we were able to get through the province of New Brunswick, and it was the Community Investment Fund, and we were able to, so on the far upper left, it was the model that we wanted to order, but we got it made locally. So it's a company that's called Advanced Assemblies. on Miramichi Avenue. And so they were able to make a bike rack. And as you can see, if you're looking closely, I made sure that we have fat bikes that can fit on it, because I know the city rents fat bikes, and we really want them to come downtown. So there's 3 places for the fat bikes and regular bikes as well. And it adds art as well downtown. And then the Heart Bathurst, that's one of the projects that I came here to have City Council's approval. So you can see a little bit of the process. If you go clockwise, the fabrication, and again, it was made by a local company. It was Advanced Assemblies. I just keep throwing projects at them, and so far they've succeeded every time. So it's the Heart Bathurst when you cross the bridge. It was quite the process, but we made it in the end, and you have the final product in the middle. And please note that the bushes there, they're going to grow and they're going to cover the surface. That's the main goal, and it's not going to be too demanding in terms of upkeep. So here is our budget. So as you can see, I just talked about all kinds of activities, all kinds of projects. It's always challenging. You have the revenue, so the levy, it's approximately, we didn't have the final number yet. Usually it's a number I received from the city treasurer. I didn't receive it yet, but usually we think it's going to be approximately that amount. It's usually around that amount every year. And then we received some funds for a music bar hop and the flowers. And Province of New Brunswick, we hope we're going to have a summer student. So those are the revenues. And if you look closely, so we have salaries, and then we have the summer student salary, employee benefits, sponsorship, membership. So that includes, for example, Chamber of Commerce, Downtown New Brunswick, event costs, the grant that we have received, and it was confirmed for the bar hop, the donation for Downtown Dollars. So we do get a lot of requests for donation for Downtown Dollars, or that also includes our 20% when we sell them at 20% off. Then we have beautification. So beautification is the flowers, the hanging baskets, the Christmas wreaths, and Christmas tree. Property tax, and that's because of our newest project. So now we have a property tax to pay every year. So we'll touch on that later. Rent, utilities, insurance, office supply, equipment, bank charges, travel expense and expenses, professional fees, for a total of a budget of $113,000. I don't know if there's any questions about the budget before I continue. It takes some gymnastic.
I don't see any questions on that.
Okay.
We know it was real low for a long time, so.
Yes. So upcoming events, so from now until the end of 2024, we have the Halloween bar hopping event. So usually it was held in March, but it was decided at the last board meeting to have it November 1st for Halloween, because Halloween falls on a Thursday, so that's going to be very interesting. I'm just going to show you what we usually have. Here I have in effect. So it's always fun events. We do like some kind of a passport. This is from last March, but we have a passport, and when you open it, you have the businesses that participate, and you have a map of where they are located. And when people are going through all of the businesses, all the businesses have a bingo punch. So they're able to punch, and the goal is to complete all of the businesses. So usually there's prizes if you're able to complete 5 out of 7, 7 out of 7. So it makes it a fun game if you want, but also it makes people discover downtown, and everything is walkable. So you have an example of how it works. We have our AGM that's coming up on Tuesday, November 5th, and the Christmas shopping night that's going to happen November 28th. So that's always a well-attended event. And now it's our big project that's coming up, and that's going to be, I think it's DBRC's biggest project, if I'm not mistaken. You guys are aware? So it's the address 387 Main Street. So Sylvain, if you want to.
Sure. So before I start, thank you, Kevin, for making this presentation much more interesting than when I presented the budget. And just generally making us all look good at the board. I'm sure I speak for everyone there. So as you all know, last year, the corporation purchases a property locally known, or as Billy White's Wharf. They're 380 something Main Street, 387 Main Street. So basically, we had an idea of developing a project with that property. We'll work with a design firm that specializes in these kinds of projects to put something together that we could essentially tag a number to it. So we had a few things that we were looking for that you can see on this rendering that they put together. The main thing, one of the main reasons for this project is to get some berthing spaces. Well, not really berthing, but really access to water. So anybody coming from outside the city on a boat from Carrickhead, Bonaventure, or anywhere, Pittsburgh, so they have access to have a decent-sized boat stay downtown. The intent is not to have like full-year berthings, mostly just so they can come use downtown for a day or so and then come back or whatever they want to do. So it's basically just docking. I know we already have docks on the causeway. Fortunately, because of the water levels and the bridge in the way, like any decent size craft can't really get to it. So to us, that was something that's missing. That's something that can drive people to. There's a decent sized parking lot also planned for this site. Mostly tourists, like just as a starting point for them to use downtown. And again, we have the waterfront, but the concept would be to create essentially two poles or two nodes, right? So if we have these two sites, there's two ends to downtown, well, it sort of encourages people to walk across and eventually have more development between those two poles, right? And I'm just going to flick Kevin just to give you a more lively view of what we're proposing. So, and with the parking spaces, the idea is to work with NB Power. We've already had some discussions with them to have some electrification of those parking, so people that are coming in with, electric cars can stay there, charge their cars, go for a walk, access a trail, or stay on the site or whatnot. So that's sort of the big overview concept of the project, and I think that's the end of the slide. So I'm just going to go back here. So there's other pieces to the project. Talking with the board members and some of our members, like a few pickleball courts seemed like a good idea just because it brings a lot of traffic to the site. That's one of the ideas. If we can have it like a mixed use between tourists using the site, people coming in through boats, and then local resident using it for recreational activity. There's this area, like a boardwalk area that touches the water. Think like sort of like the Halifax waterfront there, with like something that people can sit, enjoy the water. We're surrounded by water. The idea is to try to use it and be able to maximize so people can enjoy it. There's a little sandy beach area for kids. What's missing from this plan is probably, and we talked to the firm, is some sort of play area for kids so that families can go and enjoy the site. And then in the middle, those black snake-looking things are basically some sort of container structure, right? So just a little mixed use of recreational or containers that would house recreational use, maybe like a small art gallery, washroom facilities for some, somewhere where you can have a drink, have a bar, maybe a little restaurant. We're sort of working with those details. The idea would be not for us to, necessarily build and pay for all that infrastructure, but to get someone that's interested as a partner to the site, but that's a work in progress. And then we would keep that sort of little treed frontage that's already there that you guys can see along Main Street. And most of it would be a pedestrian site, obviously. And then the final thing would be to integrate the walking trail that already crosses that so that it connects to basically the rest of downtown. So someone could use the site and then go for a walk and go all the way around, come back. That's the goal. That's the wish list. And right now what we've been doing is we ended up developing this project, like I said, with the consultants. We've costed it out. It's not necessarily going to be cheap. But at the end of the day, the plan is to see what is available as funding through other partners, federally, provincially, obviously, and eventually you guys. We'll see. Because I know you guys helped already, but I'll be honest, the bulk will have to come from other partners. And I guess the question now is what kind of funding we're working with another consultant to put together a funding application to see, like where do we stand, right? So. That work hasn't been finalized yet. We met last week. There's some issues that this individual had to deal with that we couldn't get that finalized. But we've been picking away at it through the summer. Now that we have what we want to do, the design and the numbers, right? So globally, we're talking about a few $1 million, obviously there, because there's a lot of infrastructure work to do. And this, I guess, is a presentation of where we want to go. I guess the next step for us is figure out, like I said, what's available, and do we do it all in one chunk or do we do a piece, right? What goes first? And then we'll start to plan that out. Ideally would be access to water, right? So if we can get the boats in, if we can get the parking spots done, and then everything else would come, fall in line afterwards. This presentation is separate from what Catherine has presented for the budget, basically two different meetings. First is we'd like you guys to approve a budget for next year, and obviously, as you saw, we're incurring some cost to that. We paid for the good chunk of the property with you guys, but we're committed to supporting, I guess for now, the property tax value of it. We knew that was coming. It's just we had to readjust our budget a little bit to be able to float this and keep doing what we're doing, right? We don't want to take away from the day-to-day operations of the Downtown Association. So, so I guess, two things. I guess the request now is for next year's budget planning. It would be possible to maybe think about setting aside some money for this project, right? Because if we do end up getting financing, I think it looks a lot better with the municipality on board as a partner. So we talking with our consultant, I think they mentioned something around the tune of $150,000, knowing that that's a big chunk of money and it would only get done if the project goes ahead. So I know you guys are in budget, and I know that's times in 1.5 our whole budget, but it's really would be dedicated to this project. Now I'm sure you're all going to have questions.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Definitely, there's the projects in the past year that we've seen downtown have been very appreciated. I mean, I think the I Love Bathurst sign has been turned into the #1 place for tourists to take pictures and local people also.
Yep.
People have drove by Billy White's Wharf for years and wondered what could be done there. So now we're seeing something on sketch. You're right; it's a lot of money. So, but we're already invested into the project already. So I'll go to other people that have questions. Councillor Leblanc.
Encore moi le premier. Mettons. Tout le temps. Va t'en faire, toi, j'ai attendu qu'il ait fini de poser le piton. Écoute, on connaît tout le succès du waterfront.
Oui.
On a investi beaucoup, la ville, pour créer ça, puis il y a un énorme succès. Mais ça Ça représente une partie de la population, si vous voulez, et du touriste qui vient à Bathurst. Il y a vraiment de la place à une autre partie de la population et une autre forme de tourisme. Puis ça ici, je pense que ça l'est vraiment. J'apprécie grandement ce que vous essayez de faire là. J'espère qu'on va pouvoir être des partenaires tout le long, parce que je pense que ça prend ça. Ça prend une ville qui a une vision et qui veut investir dans son futur. Et ça ici, c'est un exemple parfait d'investir dans notre futur. Ma question, demandes-tu qu'on budgète 150 000 déjà pour l'année prochaine? C'est ça que tu as demandé? As-tu compris ça?
Si possible, oui.
Tu commences pas un petit peu, toi, là. Bang.
Non.
Avec le tourisme levy, on se pensait peut-être que tu sais, ça pourrait être un bon projet pour le tourism levy.
Je suis tout à fait d'accord. C'est juste que, quand vous arrivez à ce moment ici, ça serait... En tout cas, on va voir à mesure, là.
So, juste pour répondre à ta question, on s'entend que si on parle d'un investissement de la ville de cette envergure-là, ça veut dire qu'on parle des travaux d'infrastructure. L'idée, c'est de prendre cet argent-là et de leverager pour aller chercher, je sais pas, 2 millions de projets. Je veux dire, c'est un peu pour ça. S'il n'y a pas de travaux, ben, il n'y aura pas d'argent de dépenser.
Je suis bien d'accord. Il va falloir... Si la ville investit un montant comme ça, il faut arriver avec de quoi de concret aussi. Regarde, notre investissement, il va là directement.
Puis,
on ne peut pas vous donner un chèque en blanc.
La raison qu'on est ici, là, puis même nous autres, on a du travail à faire au niveau des chiffres, puis déterminer c'est quoi les paramètres du projet. L'idée, c'est juste ça, on peut-tu le budgéter? Parce que je sais que si on arrive au mois de mars avec quelque chose, ben là, ça va être plus difficile. Donc, bon. Mais regarde, c'est ça qu'elle demande, c'est ça que c'est.
Comme je vous dis, je crois au projet, puis je pense que la majorité de mes collègues y croient aussi. Ça, c'est une question de parler, rendu à ce stade ici du budget, c'est qu'il y a déjà une grosse partie du budget qui est faite, là. Remarquez bien, là. Mais en tout cas, ça, c'est une discussion à nous autres à avoir à l'interne et voir ce qu'on va aller. Mais c'était surtout ça ma question, si tu demandais une partie du 150 ou si tu demandais qu'on budgète sur le 150. Merci beaucoup, Sylvain. Merci beaucoup, Catherine. Merci pour tout ce que vous faites pour notre ville. Continuez. On va essayer de continuer de vous supporter le plus possible de l'avant. Merci.
Thank you. Councillor Hondas.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor Willett. More of a comment. Very nice presentation. Great vision. Catherine, you never cease to amaze me when you come to this stuff. Sylvain, this is a great sketch. It's a lot of money, but I see this there because it was there before, and bringing us back to the past there would be a great thing. Question, all these little containers, would that be just seasonal, or would that be...
Yeah, it'd be a mix, right? We're trying to see, I guess that's what we're trying to do, develop something that parts of it could be used year round, but obviously the containers would probably be seasonal. I don't see, other than during a special event in the summer or something, or in the winter, it's probably going to be seasonal, right? So.
And then for the boat docking now, is it deep enough for big boats too, or just...
Yeah, it's deep enough. The channel runs right there. And, this, maybe it won't be as much, right now you get, long arms going through, I would say start with just the side of it, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, there's enough water right there.
No.
That spot, yes. Not everywhere, but that spot, yes.
Sounds good.
And that's why we fought so hard to have that property.
Yeah, because...
It's not everywhere that the boats can have access. Yeah. And last time that we came, it was a dream, and we're getting closer. It's not as fast as we wish it would be, but just getting the property took a long time. And finally, we have exactly the right property at the right place. And I just want to mention again, it's not to compete with the waterfront at all. It's just really to complement. On veut boucler la boucle, so that way, because right now tourists are going to waterfront, and then they arrive and they have to go back. But if we can do a circuit where they can either go through downtown to the other point, or they can go and come back by the water, which we have such a beautiful place. That's the strategy. We really want to sell the place, and with cruise bathers that have it's going to be perfect. It's exactly, and the consultant that's working on this project, because
we don't have time.
That, and also I'm definitely not a professional in that regards. So he brought a lot of points and he has experience. He's the one that developed the Alpnautique in Caraquet. So what you know now from Caraquet is the same consultant that's working on the one from Bathurst, for Bathurst. So he's bringing good points. He's the one that brought up maybe a kids park, just a little, like to bring the whole family. We didn't think of that. Like we're still, and we should have a more concrete plan in the upcoming months.
From what I can see, though, I think all ages are there going to be, from the older people to the younger people. The pickleball is going to be a big thing because I think a lot of people are asking for new pickleball courts. Let's just say we have a dream, and that looks pretty good for me. So,
Thank you. I see the same thing. I see where you can go and get different government monies for different sections of that project and that. Just to clarify, is it 150 or 250 that you're asking for? 150. Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much for your presentation. And
Thank you.
we'll be voting on the budget.
We'll leave the design there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to finance.
There are no items under finance.
Okay, municipal bylaws. 8.1. Receipt of Planning Advisory Committee recommendations. You want me to read the first one? 1.1.1 Revision of zoning provisions relating to property on 495 Riverside Drive.
Thank you. Let's put it on. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. So I will be presenting the views of the Planning Advisory Committee regarding two applications for their meeting held on August 20th. The first application was from Mrs. Blanchard, and it is the view of the Planning Advisory Committee of the City of Bathurst that the city amend the municipal plan map of the City of Bathurst Municipal Plan Bylaw number 2006-01 to change the designation from institutional to integrated development, and also the zoning map of the City of Bathurst zoning bylaw number 2008-01 to change the zoning from institutional to integrated development. That would be for the subject property of the listed PID located at 495 Riverside Drive in the City of Bathurst to allow the construction of an 8-story multi-family dwelling with 28 residential units and commercial spaces, including offices. That would be on the first floor. That is subject to the following terms and conditions pursuant to Section 59 of the Community Planning Act. Any new access point between the property and Riverside Drive must be approved by the Public Works Department, which reserves the right to request any expert reports it deems necessary. The owner must obtain all required permits from the province and comply with its directives before cutting any vegetation and carrying out any development, including but not limited to any backfilling, clearing, grading, construction work, etc. Without limiting the generality of the foregoing, the owner shall contact Surface Water Management of DELG to obtain a WWA permit, if required. All provisions of the zoning bylaw continue to apply. A geotechnical study will be required prior to issuance of a building permit, and other conditions may be added as required. For the second applicant, it was from Mr. Arsenault, and it is the view of the Planning Advisory Committee of the City of Bathurst that the city amend the municipal plan map of the City of Bathurst Municipal Plan Bylaw number 2006-01 to change the designation for commercial to residential, and also the zoning map of the City of Bathurst zoning bylaw number 2008-01 to change the zoning from highway commercial to single and two-unit residential R2. That would be for the subject property list of the listed PID located at 1765 St. Peter Avenue in the City of Bathurst to allow the construction of a single-family home subject to the following terms and conditions pursuant to Section 59 of the Community Planning Act. Only one dwelling will be permitted on the property. No new lots or streets may be subdivided. Any access point between the property and St. Peter Avenue, including the existing access, must be approved by the Public Works Department, which reserves the right to request any expert reports it deems necessary. The owner must obtain all required provincial permits and comply with provincial guidelines prior to cutting any vegetation and carrying out any development, including but not limited to any backfilling, clearing, grading, construction, etc. Without limiting the generality of the foregoing, the owner shall contact the Department of the Environment and Local Government Surface Water Management to obtain a water course and wetland alteration permit if required. All provisions of the zoning bylaw continue to apply. The owner is encouraged to develop the site with as little disturbance to the environment as possible and to retain as many trees as possible. A soil test and trees cutting plan will be required before approval. And that is the end of the presentation. I have to mention the next step would be on October 21st, and that would be for approval of conditions and second reading of the bylaws. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation. I see no questions from nobody, so go ahead to the next one. Hearing of objections of support regarding the proposal municipal plan amendment. 8.2.1, 495 Riverside Drive.
For a property located at 495 Riverside Drive, a public notice required under Section 111 of the Community Planning Act and pertaining to the draft amendment of the municipal and zoning bylaw were published. One written letter was received. Letter dated September 19th, 2024. I live directly across the street from the above noted property, and I am happy to be writing this letter in support of the application by developers for the construction of an 8-story multifamily dwelling with commercial space on the first floor. I believe this development will enhance and add interest to the city's skyline, and its design will integrate nicely into the Riverside Drive area. This project will no doubt have a positive effect on nearby property values and will help maintain the integrity of the neighborhood while providing an upscale, quality development that is abundant in other municipalities and that Bathurst has been lacking up until now. It is very encouraging to see that there are developers in our region that see the potential of our city and that have a broader vision for Bathurst and recognize the importance of capitalizing on our beautiful waterfront. This development will provide a much in-demand housing option for the residents of Bathurst, will help to encourage people to stay in Bathurst as well as attract people from other regions that are looking for these types of upscale housing options. I am looking forward to seeing more developments of this kind in Bathurst, as I believe it will help the city grow and compete with other municipalities. I wish to thank the developers for choosing this location for this exciting project and welcome them to the Riverside Drive neighborhood. Sincerely, Marilyn Gallagher.
Do I read these? Okay. So I invite members of the public to express their opinion on the proposed zoning bylaw amendment for 495 Riverside Drive. J'invite les membres du public à donner leur opinion concernant la modification prévue à l'arrêté de zonage au 495 Promenade Riverside Drive. For the third time, I invite members of the public to express their opinion on the proposed zoning bylaw amendment for 495 Riverside Drive. No, none. Let me do this one right away? No.
Item 8.2.2 for 1765 St. Peter Avenue. For property located at 1765 St. Peter Avenue, public notice required under Section 111 of the Community Planning Act and pertaining to the draft amendment of the municipal and zoning bylaw were published. No written objections were received.
OK. Pour la première fois, j'invite les membres du public à donner leur opinion concernant la modification prévue à l'arrêté de zonage au 1765 Avenue Saint-Pierre. For the second time, I invite members of the public to express their opinion on the proposed zoning bylaw amendment for 1765 St. Peter Avenue. For the third and final time, j'invite les membres du public à donner leur opinion concernant la modification prévue de l'arrêté de zonage au 1765 Avenue Saint-Pierre. Pour la troisième fois. Il n'y a personne. Merci. Okay, proposed municipal and zoning bylaw amendments. 8.3.1, proposed municipal and zoning bylaw amendments for 495 Riverside Drive.
That the proposed bylaw 2024-08M entitled A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw Number 2006-01 entitled The City of Bathurst Municipal Plan Bylaw shall be read 3 times by title as per requirements specified in the Local Governance Act, Section 15.3, and that the above-mentioned proposed bylaw may be examined by contacting the city clerk during regular office hours, and that the above-mentioned proposed bylaw shall be posted to the City of Bathurst website and Facebook page as per the Local Governance Act, Section 71C, and that the purpose of the above-mentioned proposed bylaw is to modify the designation for the municipal plan from institutional to integrated development. Be it resolved that proposed bylaw 2024-08M entitled A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw Number 2006-01 entitled The City of Bathurst Municipal Plan Bylaw be read for the first time by title.
I have a motion to that effect, Councillor Hondas, second by Councillor Anderson. All those in favor, please signify. Aye. All those against, motion carried. Eight point 3.2. Proposed municipal and zoning bylaw amendments for 1765 St. Peter Avenue.
Before we do that one, we're just going to do the 2024-08Z.
Okay.
That the proposed bylaw 2024-08Z entitled A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw Number 2008-01 entitled The City of Bathurst Zoning Bylaw shall be read 3 times by title as per requirements specified in the Local Governance Act, Section 15.3, and that the above-mentioned proposed bylaw may be examined by contacting the city clerk during regular office hours, and that the above-mentioned proposed bylaw shall be posted to the City of Bathurst website and Facebook page as per the Local Governance Act, Section 71C, and that the purpose of the above-mentioned proposed bylaw is to modify the designation for the zoning bylaw from institutional IN to integrated development ID. Be it resolved that proposed bylaw 2024-08Z entitled A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw Number 2008-01 entitled The City of Bathurst Zoning Bylaw be read for the first time by title.
Thank you. Do I have a mover? Councillor Knowles, second by Councillor Branch. Any question on the motion? All those in favor signify. Aye. All those against? Motion carried. Okay, now we can go to 8.3.2, proposed municipal and zoning bylaw amendments for 1765 St. Peter.
That the proposed bylaw 2024-09M entitled A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw Number 2006-01 entitled The City of Bathurst Municipal Plan Bylaw shall be read 3 times by title as per requirements specified in the Local Governance Act, Section 15.3, and that the above-mentioned proposed bylaw may be examined by contacting the city clerk during regular office hours, and that the above-mentioned proposed bylaw shall be posted to the City of Bathurst website and Facebook page as per Local Governance Act, Section 71C, and that the purpose of the above-mentioned proposed bylaw is to modify the designation for the municipal plan from commercial to residential. Be it resolved that the proposed bylaw 2024-09M entitled A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw Number 2006-01 entitled The City of Bathurst Municipal Plan Bylaw be read for the first time by title.
I have a mover to that. Moved by Councillor LeBlanc, second by Councillor Scarry. Is there any question on the motion? All those in favor signify. All those against? Motion carried. 8.3.22.
Yeah. First reading of bylaw 2024-09Z. That the proposed bylaw 2024-09Z entitled A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw Number 2008-01 entitled The City of Bathurst Zoning Bylaw shall be read 3 times by title as per requirements specified in the Local Governance Act, Section 15.3, and that the above-mentioned proposed bylaw may be examined by contacting the city clerk during regular office hours, and that the above-mentioned proposed bylaw shall be posted to the City of Bathurst website and Facebook page as per the Local Governance Act, Section 71C, and that the purpose of the above-mentioned proposed bylaw is to modify the designation for the zoning bylaw from Highway Commercial HC to Single and Two-Unit Dwelling R2. Be it resolved that the proposed bylaw 2024-09Z, entitled "The Bylaw to Amend Bylaw Number 2008-01, entitled "The City of Bathurst Zoning Bylaw," be read for the first time by title.
Could I have a mover? Mover Councillor Branch. Second by Councillor Legacy. Is there any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify. All those against? Motion carried. 9, draft resolutions. 9.1, appointment of animal control officer.
Whereas, pursuant to the bylaw number 2012-04, a bylaw regulating and the keeping and controlling of companion animals in the City of Bathurst, Council is authorized to appoint an animal control officer, and that Chantal Dempsey is authorized, designated, and appointed to act for and on behalf of Council in order to properly enforce the bylaw number 2012-04, and that the said appointment continues as long as the said person remains employed with the Animal Shelter Bathurst Incorporated, or that the appointment is limited or rescinded by Council. Now therefore be it resolved that the Bathurst City Council hereby appoints Chantal Dempsey as Animal Control Officer.
I have a mover. Moved by Councillor LeBlanc, second by Councillor Scarry. Is there any questions on the motion? Councillor Hondas.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Willett. Just seems to me we're doing this often. Is there more than one? Because we just did one like a couple weeks ago, and so how many are we looking at in all? Does anybody know?
I'm pass this over to. Which one are you? Management 6? No. Here we go.
Thank you, Your Worship. With regards to that question, the individuals are appointed to work there. If they no longer work there, there has to be a new appointment in place. So we pay on our tendered contract. It's really up to them to hire what they have. We just pay for the service. So some of them might no longer be employed. So when there's somebody that leaves, they have to reappoint underneath the requirement to add somebody.
Seeing no other questions, all those in favor signify. Aye. All those against, motion carried. 902, salary adjustment for acting mayor.
Whereas, in the absence of the mayor or the inability of the mayor to act, or if the office of mayor is vacant, the deputy mayor shall act in place of the mayor, and whereas, while so acting, the deputy mayor possesses the powers and shall perform the duties of the mayor, and whereas Mayor Kim Chamberlain has given notice of temporary leave, and whereas Deputy Mayor Michael Willett will act as mayor throughout this duration, be it resolved that acting mayor Michael Willett shall be remunerated at the rate set out for the mayor as specified in bylaw 2019-06, section 1A for the entirety of his acting term.
Thank you. Can I have a mover for the motion? Moved by Councillor LeBlanc, second by Councillor Legacy. Councillor Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. The question I have on this is where the mayor hasn't stepped down. She's could possibly be coming back. That's kind of the role of having a deputy mayor, and you know this is no offense to you. And I know you didn't ask to have this put on, so I don't want you to think that. But that's why the deputy mayor gets paid an additional salary to step in and replace the mayor if the mayor's not available. So that's why I'm questioning this one now, where it's for a matter of a month.
I'm pass it over to.
I have the policy in front of me, and it doesn't state anywhere in the policy that if X amount of the minute the mayor's not available, that the deputy mayor hops into the mayor's salary.
Yeah. You want to answer that one? You want to press your button? It's easier to find.
Thank you, Worship. I'll refer to our solicitor to clarify, but it's been the practice when it's vacant, because she's not.
But it's not vacant.
She stepped down. There's no vacant actual position of
But-
a mayor.
She's on a leave of absence right now.
There's no-
I can understand, I would totally agree, should she win in the upcoming election, that yes, then and then absolutely, I would support it 100%.
We'll go through to Mr.
State some off. Yeah.
Thank you, Your Worship. All I can really say to clarify is it's been our practice to have that resolution when the deputy mayor is called to step in for an extended period of time. Yes, when Deputy Mayor Stever had to step in. After that, it's a decision of council whether they want to grant it or not. It's a decision of council. That's the precedent we have to work with.
Situation, the mayor at the time actually stepped down and was not coming back. He wasn't on a temporary leave. He had stepped down and pursued other avenues.
Correct. Again, decision of council.
And like I said, it's nothing personal against you. But to me, that's why the deputy mayor gets paid the extra salary, is you step in if the mayor's not available.
Yes.
And like I said, I would totally support this if she wasn't coming back in a couple weeks.
No problem.
That's just
Councillor Branch.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. My question is the mayor's leave of absence without pay? So if the mayor's leave of absence is without pay, I would have no objection to compensating the deputy mayor accordingly, because we'd essentially be saving the deputy mayor's salary.
You want to answer that one? Mr. Pettigrew?
As our solicitor mentioned, I mean, ultimately it's council's decision, if however you want to move forward on this, but it's, the mayor's not being paid.
So the mayor's leave is without pay?
Yes.
Yeah, so from my standpoint, I would have no issues in compensating the acting mayor accordingly.
Thank you. Councillor Ondas?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Willett. Is it possible that we can postpone this till after the election, and then does it have to be done today? Like, I'm with Councillor Anderson on this. Deputy Mayor does get a little bit more remuneration than regular councillor for this cause, where if he needs to step in for the mayor, he does represent the city as the deputy mayor, acting mayor. So, worst case scenario, we go till after the election, and if there's any back pay or whatever, we can deal with it at that time. Just my suggestion.
You want to make a motion to that?
Well, we have a motion on the floor, I believe. Monsieur LaPlante, press.
We would have to make a motion in order to proceed what you suggested. We already have a mover and a seconder for this one on the table.
I'll make a motion that we postpone the acting mayor adjustment till after the election.
So you need a mover and a seconder.
So I need a seconder. Pardon me? Yeah, just a moment. I'll go through the questions. Councillor LeBlanc.
Yeah, thank you. Just going to give my point of view on this, because we had a motion on the floor first, right? And the first motion was to increase your salary. The way I see it is a little bit like Councillor Branch. Right now, you are 100% full-time replacing the mayor in all capacities, whereas deputy mayor, it's when the mayor cannot attend or assist or a certain event or day in particular. This is, to me, is totally different. You are the I mean, we can say acting mayor, but for 30 days you are the mayor, 24/7. So my suggestion is we move forward with this salary adjustment, especially on top of the fact, as was clearly pointed out by Councillor Branch, that it's not as if we're paying you twice the mayor's salary and the deputy mayor and the councillor's salary. You're basically just moving up to the mayor's salary. On top of that, we are, if anything, we are saving during this month.
Councillor Knowles?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I don't have a problem with, like Councillor Branch said, it's very short term. We're looking at 2 weeks, so to me, I don't have a problem with it. Very short term.
Thank you. So, we need a seconder for the second motion? Or do I need a seconder for the motion that Councillor Hondas put together? Moved by Councillor Scary. Pardon me? Okay, so is vote on that? All those in favor? Right there now, we're voting on referring it to tabling it. Not tabling it, but postponing it. So we're voting on postponing it. So all those in favor? All those against? Okay, the nays have it. So now we go back to the original one. All those in favor? All those against? Motion carried. So, the next one, 9.3, Old Bathurst Post Office Preservation Project, grant.
Whereas members of council approved an annual grant of $20,000 over 5 years from 2023 to 2027 for a total of $100,000 to be distributed to the Old Bathurst Post Office Preservation Project Limited during the regular public meeting held on June 19, 2023, and whereas the Old Bathurst Post Office Preservation Project Limited requested an additional $100,000 in funding, be it resolved that members of council approve the additional grant distribution for a total of $100,000 to the Old Bathurst Post Office Preservation Project Limited as discussed in camera on August 12, 2024, pursuant to Section 68 of the Local Governance Act as follows. $40,000 in the year 2024, and then $20,000 in 2025, 2026, and 2027.
Could I have a mover to that? Moved by Councillor Hondas, second by Councillor LeBlanc. Is there any questions on the motion? One, Councillor Legacy.
Yeah, I have a couple issues with this. Originally, it stemmed from the fact that this was discussed in camera. We were told that that discussion was relating to a lease agreement, and we didn't have a single comment about any lease agreement. This was a financing decision. This should have been a public discussion for everyone to be able to see everything. And it's also being a standalone budget item, which we're going through the budget process Wednesday. We've already had a first meeting, and we have another one. Why was this on its own? This will affect future budgets. It should not have been a standalone thing. It should not have been in camera. I support the idea and the project, but this process was severely flawed, and I'm not content with the way we've gone through with this.
Thank you, Councillor. Do we have an answer, or are there any other comments? Yeah. Go ahead.
The lease was discussed at an in-camera meeting, as it is an in-camera item. The grant is on the floor now for debate at a public meeting. So
that meeting, we didn't discuss a lease at all. The topic was brought up that this will be in camera because it's relating to a lease, and then we spent 40 minutes not discussing a lease at all. There was not a single term other than the introduction about a lease. It was only about grant and funding and how to pay for it. There was nothing about an actual lease.
But again, it's on the floor at a public meeting
There
for
was no question
debate.
about this. This was a statement. So you don't have to respond to it. I just need the public to be aware that this system was flawed.
Is there any other questions on the motion? Oh. Councillor LeBlanc?
No questions on the motion. Just want to specify that Councillor Legacy is absolutely correct on this one. There was no discussion on the lease, and I am no professional, I'm no lawyer by any means, so I don't want to pronounce one way or the other. I agree with what we're supporting, but if that contravenes, anyhow, all I can say is there was no discussion of lease during that, and it was presented to us as a lease discussion, and we did discuss this, so I just wanted to back them up on that one, because I do remember that night, but again, has nothing to do with this, and if we're going to debate this, we should absolutely debate this in public, because I believe in what we're doing here. If there's a flaw in how it was brought or in process or procedure, if that is a flaw in procedure, we'll let it be stated that it is the case.
Any other questions on the motion? Councillor Legacy?
I'd like to motion to delay this and add it to our future budget deliberations.
Okay, there's a motion to postpone. Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
Second by Councillor Anderson. All those in favor of postponing?
Can you raise your hands, please?
All those against? Motion carried. We'll postpone. Okay. 9.4, 2024 grants distribution.
There are two resolutions within this item, so we'll do one vote for the one, and then we'll go to the second reading of the second resolution and vote for that one. That the grant distribution be approved as follows, as discussed by the Grants Committee. $3,000 sponsorship for the 2024 Business Excellence Awards Gala organized by the Chaleur Chamber of Commerce.
Could I have a motion? Councillor Scary, second by Councillor Legacy. Any questions first? Councillor Anderson.
Thank you. I feel like 3,000 is a lot more than what we typically give. What did we normally give past years for this?
Let me check. In 2023, it was $1,000.
That's what I thought. I personally feel like 3,000 is getting high. I feel that it's almost like the coffers have been opened lately, and I don't have an issue with helping out various organizations within the city. However, we don't have to always give the ask. You know what I mean? Like, we don't always have to give the full amount, and I just feel that we're kind of going beyond with what we're giving out with grants lately. So I feel like we should dial it back, and I'd be okay with $1,500, but personally myself, I'm not okay with more than $1,500.
Okay, so you putting an amendment?
I would like to amend it to, because I won't support 3,000. It's just getting too high.
Is there a second or that amendment? Councillor Hondas? I've got a few more questions here. Councillor Hondas?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Well, I'd just like maybe ask one of the board members of that committee why they decided to go with 3,000 compared to the 1,000 that we had in the past, possibly.
Okay, I don't think I can jump off,
Yeah,
right?
just press.
this one?
Yep.
Okay, Councillor LeBlanc?
Yep, thank you. I believe I was the first one to respond to that one in my recommendation, because we had, there's three options, 3, 2, or 1, so or 500. I replied with the 1,000, and then another honorable colleague said, hey, we got to show our businesses that we really support, and I'd like to go with 3,000. So I said, you know what, it's true. We do support our regional businesses, and let's show that Bathurst is behind our businesses. And hey, if you want to go 3,000, I'll back you on that one. Want that? And then I believe Councillor Scarry, who had agreed with me initially, says, yeah, absolutely. We we want it. Let it be clear that we support our downtown businesses, and we will sponsor. And we had a good amount left in our sponsorship coffers, enough to do this and still be able to sponsor future events from here to the end of the year. So that is why that decision was made. Of course, it's always at the discretion of council.
Thank you, Councillor LeBlanc. We got a question from Councillor Knowles.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, I was just asking, follow up on Councillor Honda's question, what the recommendation was, the dollar amount, or I know the committee, it's always tough. You get so many requests, and you got to balance back and forth. It's not an easy job. I was on the grants committee myself, so okay. I just wanted to know the rationale. That's fine. My question was answered already.
Okay, Councillor Scarry.
Yeah, I guess there was no initial ask. It was a presentation of the various levels of sponsorship, and feeling that as JF said, and in our discussions or through the emails, it was just felt that it would be great to sponsor local businesses and an event such as that on behalf of the city to that amount of money, where we do have a fair amount of money left in our grants budget for anything else that would come up this year.
Okay, seeing no more questions, we're going to go to vote. Now the first vote is to tone it down to $1,500. So all people in favor? Okay, you're going to have to.
I'm going to need to see hands.
All those in favor? All those against? So motion carried.
So I'm just going to read it back with the new amount.
Yeah.
That the grant distribution be approved as follows, as discussed by the Grants Committee. 1,500 sponsorship to the 2024 Business Excellence Awards Gala organized by the Chaleur Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, now you got a question. Councillor.
Well, I just want, again, as I stated earlier, the request was for 1, 2, or 3. There's no sponsorship level at 15. So if we're going to go down, I think we have to redo that, and that's for 1,000 or 2,000.
Still give them that amount and fall into the 1,000.
Then we're playing an odd game because we're getting nothing for that 5, whereas the other ones had certain packages attached to them, which gained visibility for the city within the local businesses.
Councillor Hondas.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Well, if we can consider it that way, then you can consider that we gave a silver and a bronze, so 1,500. I think that would be. I know there's no definite 1,500, but there's 1,500 if you join two, like a bronze and a silver. So.
If we change it, we need a resolution.
If we change it, we need another resolution. So. Okay, move on. Items discussed in camera.
We need the vote.
Oh, all those in we already voted, didn't we? Okay. Okay.
You get a mover and a seconder.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll need a mover. Moved by Councillor Anderson, second by Councillor Hondas. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify. All those against? Motion carried. Okay, we got items discussed in cameras, 9.
There was 2 resolutions under that item because there was 2 different grant requests.
Okay.
The second, that the grant distribution be approved as follows, as discussed by the Grants Committee. $1,000 to the Irish Canadian Cultural Association of New Brunswick for the Kinsale Memorial Panel, pending approval from city staff.
I have a motion to that effect. Moved by Councillor Honda, second by Councillor LeBlanc. Questions on the motion? Councillor Anderson?
Sorry. What is this? Like, I don't understand what this is for. I don't see anything in here.
I'm pretty sure the Irish Society is doing something at the Cultural Centre in North Tedigush.
there we go.
So they're
Okay.
doing any better.
Okay.
Okay, seeing no other questions, all those in favor, please signify. Aye. All those against, motion carried. That was it? Okay. So 9.5, items discussed in camera. 9.5.1, Code of Conduct.
Whereas, in accordance with the Local Governance Act, a local government shall make bylaws establishing a code of conduct for members of council prescribed by regulation, and whereas a statement of complaint was submitted that a member of City Council violated the City of Bathurst Code of Conduct bylaw, and whereas the statement of complaint was reviewed and considered, and whereas the statement of complaint was referred to an external consultant to conduct an investigation and provide a report and recommendations to the members of council, and whereas the consultant proceeded with a review of the complaint, and whereas the consultant presented a written report summarizing the complaint review process with their findings, conclusions, and recommendations, including their view as to whether a violation occurred, and whereas the consultant's report was considered at an in-camera session on August 12, 2024, and whereas the consultant's findings were that there was no violation to the City of Bathurst Code of Conduct bylaw. Be it resolved that members of council accept the consultant's recommendation that there was no violation of the City of Bathurst Code of Conduct bylaw.
Could I have a mover? Moved by Councillor LeBlanc, second by Councillor Branch. Are there any questions on the motion? See no questions on the motion. Everybody in favor signify. Everybody against? Motion carried. Items for information, 10.1, reports from administration.
There were no reports from administration.
Reports from committees.
There is one report from Councillor Scarry for the North Tedigush Recreation Centre.
Deputy Mayor Willett.
Oh, just
Deputy Mayor Willett, council members, and those watching on the internet. I had the honor of attending the first meeting of the year for the North Tedigush Recreation Center the other night. And, you know, anybody that has not been out that way in a while to take a look at the facility that they have there now, you should go out. My first time out there since playing for dances way back when I worked at the radio station, and it was a windy old kind of building, they have come a long, long way. It goes back to 2016 when a group of very dedicated citizens and volunteers decided that they were going to try to revive the rec center. In 2014, there was the Hurricane Arthur, or tropical storm, post-tropical storm Arthur, that rolled through and flooded the basement and did a lot of damage inside that building. That group of citizens got together and cleaned up the place by themselves. Did have financial support from various people, such as the city and those kinds of things. And they have now a facility that, again, is second to none. I was there last year for the opening of the outdoor rink. That is something you guys should go up and see, because it has a revolutionary kind of surface on it that can be used all year round for ball hockey, for roller hockey. I think they've even tried it for pickleball. I'm not quite sure what the verdict is on that yet, but it is a great surface. And also the fact that it expedites the development of ice in the wintertime when the weather cooperates, which it didn't do very much last year. They've done a lot of things. They're very successful with rentals for weddings, private parties, and an event coming up on October 19th. The Irish Cultural Society is going to be doing an event there as well. Like all organizations that exist by volunteers, they're having, they are having a little bit of a hard time. And anybody that's involved in any of the organizations within the city that exist that way can attest to that. One of the things that did come up at the meeting was the fact that Charles Como gave his resignation effective March of next year. Charles has been with them for 16 years and has been the more or less the director of the North Tettigouche Recreation Center. They've recently bought a new lawn tractor to look after mowing the lawn, done a lot of work to that building, and on behalf of the North Tettigouche Rec Center, anybody that's watching this evening that lives in that area or would like to become involved within the rec center to help keep this going. There's lots of families up that way that utilize that facility, but again, when it comes to the volunteers and people stepping forward, it's a handful of people that do that. I tip my hat to Charles. I tip my hat to the executive committee that they have. And again, if there's any way that anybody could help or wants to help, please get in touch. Visit their website. There's information on there on how you can reach out and become involved in the rec center. And again, if you haven't been up there in a long time, just take a drive up some afternoon or some morning or some day and just see what they've done. The building itself is phenomenal. They are going to be doing some more renovations to it with heat pumps and refrigeration units to help when they're doing their rentals. So on behalf of the Council of Bathurst, I'd like to congratulate them tremendously on the job that they have done. And it's going to, that's part of the city now. That facility that's there it can be used and rented as well by people from the city. Go out and check it out, and if you can, show them your support in any way possible.
Thank you very much. As far as the mayor's report, we spent the weekend in Fredericton assisting to the Union and Municipalities of New Brunswick conference. There was myself, Councillor Anderson, Councillor LeBlanc, Councillor Hondas, and Councillor Legacy. It's a great place to go and find out exactly what's going on in every municipality, and everybody's struggling with the same thing. We need more money from the province. We need more services from the province, definitely. Like everybody comes up to the same thing. We need about $200 million to be able to finish this fiscal reform. We got municipal reform, but we never got to finish the fiscal reform. So we definitely need to get that done. So everybody's suffering with the same thing. Everybody's losing CAOs across the province. We had our CAO with us also, Mr. Pettigrew. So he was able to meet with a lot of his counterparts on that facet. A lot of councillors, a lot of mayors are not re-offering. They're quitting before their term. A big problem is harassment. A big problem is the way they're treated by the public. So it's becoming a big issue right through the province. So hopefully we can find solutions for that. As far as the rest, well, our staff is doing a phenomenal job trying to line up different businesses. We see new businesses come into town. We have projects on the go for apartment buildings or whatnot. So things are moving along. Things are moving along real good for the city. So as long as we can keep on. So we see we got the mill site is finally getting a shovel in the ground. So basically it's just good news for the city. So thanks for the employees for their presentation and the stuff that they did to get that going. So that's it for me. So can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
That the regular public meeting be adjourned at 8:04 p.m.
Moved by Councillor Ondas, second by Councillor Scary. All those in favor signify. Aye. All those against, motion carried. Thank you, everybody.